Well, Sydney Sweeney is in the news again, and yet again, it's for one of the dumbest reasons imaginable. She never trends for anything like that's a real controversy. People just make stuff up and get irrationally angry. I don't know what it is about this woman that pisses people off so badly where they want her head. It's the Chris Pratt thing all over again. I'll mention that a little later. But this has become literally the scene from Breaking Bad, not to spoil a show from, forever ago, but does anybody remember when Hank was being held at gunpoint by these gangsters and Walter's begging Hank, it's like, tell them what they want, say you don't know anything, so they'll spare your life. And I'm going to paraphrase, it's been forever, but Hank was like, Walter, for being so smart, you're really stupid. They already made up their mind about 5 minutes ago. Go ahead and do what you're going to do. And then they pulled the trigger because he wasn't going to sit there and beg for his life and he wasn't going to grovel at their feet because he knew what was going to happen in the end. He was going to embarrass himself in the last few minutes of his life, and that was going to be it. And right here, Sydney Sweeney has decided she's not going to bounce the ball on her nose and clap like a seal. She's not going to do a little jig for the people that want her to dance for them. She's not going to play the game. She's answering questions expertly over a controversy. And people are like, why didn't she give just an answer? Because she doesn't owe you one. There is no controversy. To catch everybody up really quickly, I'm sure you all know, she was in a jeans ad for American Eagle. And then they said, Sydney Sweeney has good genes. But it was a play on words, good genes, because people find her conventionally attractive. She hasn't had plastic surgery and a bunch of work done and all this other stuff. She's athletically built. So they're like, that's what you say about people that are like that. They didn't have to work at it, didn't have to go to the doctor to get it done for them. They have good genes. She's healthy. She's got good genes. But it became the Charlie Day conspiracy board meme where he's like pointing at everything and he's like, well, this connects to that, and everybody's like, oh, it's because she's white and blonde hair and blue eyed. So bad guy from WW2. White supremacy is on the rise again. Crazy, crazy crap.
Excuse me? A baking powder?
But you cry over this ad trying to make it something that it's not. And Sydney Sweeney's not groveling about it. She's not crying about it and begging for forgiveness because she won't anyway. Because the people that are mad at her, they don't believe in forgiveness and redemption anyway. So what's the point? But they're trying to blame her newest box office failure on all of this. That's not it, and we'll go over why here in just a minute. But here's the interview heard around the world, launched a bazillion memes, and just listen to this if you hadn't already.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And
nobody was doing that.
Since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
So right there, she just shuts it down. She's, well, what? I'm gonna give you an opportunity. Do you want to take this ball and bounce it on your nose? You want to take this cane and this top hat and do a little two-step for me? Come on, Sydney, do it. Beg for forgiveness. Do it.
Why in the would I ever do that ever?
It came down to, I like how somebody summarized this, like, so do you want to take this time and condemn white supremacy when I tell you to? And she's like, no. And people are going over the top, stupid for it. Let's see. It's all of these comments are taking the wrong approach. If she had no guilt, she would say she's proud of it. She dodged the question. That's a coward's way. Own it if you believe it. She's not talking about it because it was a controversy. Somebody said, "Oh for crap's sake, it's a stupid ad. They could do a great jeans ad with Serena Williams. It's not about race." Yeah, exactly. and they've done many ads for clothing lines with like Nike and stuff with Serena Williams. Someone said no comment equals not backing down. Like, yes, because she's not doing exactly what they're telling her to. And this is kind of funny here. The woman shouldn't be harassed or anything. I'm not saying that, but I mean, the condescending tone. Do you want to take a moment to say exactly what I want you to say? Because, I'm not saying I'm mad at you. It's not me, but other people are saying, aren't you that crazy cat lady? It's that kind of cowardice. But Kat Stoffel for GQ magazine, she has protected her tweets or her X posts, whatever, and her account. She's locked it down since that stupid interview. But Sydney Sweeney had a movie come out recently. Did anybody know that? Christy. It's about a female boxer. It's a real life biopic, whatever you want to call it. She played a female boxer, and it failed. And people are, a certain sect of people are cheering about it. Let's go over some of that reaction before I talk about the movie itself and why it bombed. Culture Crave said Christie, starring Sydney Sweeney, opens up to $1.3 million at the domestic box office. Top 10 worst opening weekends ever for a film in over 2,000 theaters. So that it averaged out to $646 per theater. Crazy. And then this doofus is like if a soy burger became a human. Evan Loves Worf. Always posts the dumbest crap. Doesn't engage with anything. He just posts clickbait. And he posts the same, you could tell the same accounts that get the script from people, and they'll just post variations of the same exact thing over and over.
You contribute nothing to society.
But he said, woke is back. Okay. I don't know what again, none of this has anything to do with woke whatsoever. But Amala Ekpanobi, she quote tweeted him and said, saying woke is back after boycotting a movie about a female domestic violence survivor finding success in a male-oriented sport is hilarious. But Sydney Sweeney said something that hurt my feelings. And then these comments are all unhinged. Why did MAGA boycott the movie? MAGA didn't know or care about the movie. What are you talking about? So he said, nobody knows this because nobody saw the movie, bro. Yeah, nobody's boycott. Well, some people might be, but who cares? In order to accurately and effectively represent the life of someone and the hardships they endured in a movie in a meaningful way, you must first have to cast someone who doesn't enable the same kinds of people that inflicted those hardships on the person. Get bent.
Off is a direction you can
It's all one side making her a mascot for all their hate. And I replied to this one, Trump tracker, whatever. But they posted this. Sydney Sweeney delivers her third box office bomb in 3 months. They said, go MAGA, go broke. Okay. I don't know that she was going MAGA in her personal life whatsoever. She just doesn't, again, do the song and dance, do the little jig for you and say the words. And I said, yeah, it could be, it couldn't be A, the poor marketing. I barely heard of this damn movie. B, it's a movie about someone no one knows or cares about. C, it's an artsy biopic. I guess Bruce Springsteen also went MAGA because his biopic just bombed a couple of weeks ago. The Rock's biopic, The Smashing Machine, also didn't do very well. Those kind of movies are just... She's the only one that they're saying, oh, it's because she's conservative. Yeah, super conservative, man. She was in Euphoria, which is not exactly something that conservatives were going out of their way to watch, And then here, just taking a look at some of Sydney Sweeney's past work here, just to bring it all home to prove that this has nothing to do with MAGA. Because listen to some of these movies she's been in. Madam Web, who she wasn't a she was a star of it, but she wasn't the star of it. But it had a reported budget of $100 million. So, for advertising and whatever, I did see a lot of advertising for that one. You're going to at least double it. Plus, there's a cut to theaters or whatever that would come out of what they made. They only made $100.3 million. So, out of their initial budget, they broke even. That's really, really bad. Immaculate had a $9 million budget. It made $25 to $35 million, somewhere in there. So that one actually turned a good profit. Eden, that was another one that was heavily, promoted and very anti-Christian movie, but, it did well at the box office, so good for her, I guess. Eden, I never even heard of that one. They had a budget of $35 to $55 million, and it only made $2.5 to $2.7 million. Then there was Americana, had a $9 million budget, only made $500,000. And then Christie, I don't know why it says between $15 to $40 million. They couldn't nail it down. But it only made $1.3 million so far. But then when you go back, let's go back to the rom-com she did with Glenn Powell, Anyone But You, had a budget of $25 million. It made $218.9 million.
That's a lot of nuts!
Her super anti-Christian weird horror film made a ton of money. And her rom-com, where she relied on her assets and, Glenn Powell was in it, that made a ton of money. These other movies, Madam Web, let's have a Spider-Man universe movie without Spider-Man in it. And, all these random chicks you've never heard of have spider powers now.
Put a chicken in! Put a chicken in! Put a chicken in! Excuse me. I believe I asked you to put a chicken in.
Eden, Americana, didn't see any advertisements for those whatsoever. And then Christie, like I said, I saw a little bit of advertisement, but all these obscure biopics are all bombing now. You couldn't even get people to see the Bruce Springsteen one starring like a pretty big name actor now. I'm blanking on his name, but he's the guy from The Bear. But that bombed even. You think Christie was going to do well? It literally had nothing to do with politics, man. People are just making her this face of something that she's not. And it's the Chris Pratt effect all over again. Although Chris Pratt seems to have better judgment over what he should do for work and has a better agent because Sydney Sweeney's agent is picking garbage for her.
The world!
This was probably just her attempt at Oscar bait, but it's not going to work. And it was a huge bomb. But Chris Pratt, he goes to church and he doesn't really talk about politics hardly at all. And he's a straight white dude and conventionally good looking. So therefore, he's a white supremacist, bad guy from WW2. He hates LGBT. He's a racist. All this stuff I've seen thrown at him because he doesn't openly suck the butt of politicians on the left and raise money for them and whatever else. He doesn't openly say, hey, half of the country are terrible people. I hate them all. So therefore, he's a terrible guy. Oh, and like I said, did I mention he goes to church? So, oh my God, how dare he? So that it's that effect all over again. I'm getting tired of seeing this in Hollywood. It's tiresome. Very, very tiresome. But let me know what you think about all of it down in the comments section. I have been Troy from Marks on Media, and I'll see you next time.